All right, welcome to Velocity Podcast. Today we're doing something a little bit different. In 2020, I recorded a very interesting podcast with Hoyle, who had just been frauded out of like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he talked all about mindset. He stayed positive through it. It was such a good podcast. I never uploaded it because the video only filmed me. It didn't go back and forth, and I didn't notice while we were live. So it's just such a strong podcast. I'm going away to Israel for 3 weeks for work, so I won't be here to do my regular programming. So I thought I would throw back to this one, and I'm telling you, it's really, really powerful. So give it a listen, and I hope you enjoy. Well, thanks for tuning in today. We are talking to Christian, and he is an entrepreneur, and he's been through a lot, and he has a lot to say. So listen up, this is going to be a really good one. Welcome, and thanks so much for taking time to do this video with me, Christian.
No problem. Thanks for asking me.
No problem. So you want to just kind of go and tell me a little bit about yourself before we dive into mindset?
So yeah, my name's Christian. I'm 43. I live in England. I've got 3 children. I've been in business for around about 8. Well, I could say longer. My first ever business was when I was 16. So I had my first business was a gardening business. So there's no upfront costs. You can put posters out and you get work. At the time, instead of getting work, I advertised that I'd come and do your work for you. You get the worst jobs that anyone would possibly do, but I was young and I picked up work, and I sort of like started my journey off in making mistakes, as you do at first when you become an entrepreneur. It led to my second business was a very interesting one. My second business was a time I was at university and I was having a child. My child was born on December the 14th, and we decided that month to run a Christmas tree business. Brilliant idea. So we sell you the Christmas tree, we drop you the Christmas tree off, and at the end of it, we come round and we take it away and remove it for you. Great idea, yeah? Yeah. So we did it, and I worked for 6 weeks, and I worked very hard, and I came exactly evens. I never lost any money. I obviously lost a huge amount of time, but I learned more things in a very short period of time than I did in anything that I've ever done before. Interesting part of it. So we go back to the house and knock on, because we've done a deal. We sell you the tree, and we come and pick the tree up. I knock on the door, and I knock on the door. Hi, we've come. She went, he's here, he's come, and she shouts her husband down, and I went, hi, yeah, I've come to get the tree, and he went, we thought you were never coming back. I went, why is that? Come out into the back garden. So we go into the back garden. And there's this tree, it's just a skeleton of a tree, it's got nothing on it. And they say, that happened 2 days after you came here, and I'd sold them a tree that didn't lose. I was told that these didn't lose any of their things on it. And so, and they were the fact I'd gone back, they realised it wasn't a con, it may have appeared like one. So you learn a lot from the mistakes that you make, so for definite. So then I went on to one of my businesses now I've had for a long time was a hairdressers, which I still own now. I've had a hairdressers. I'll list some of the ones that I've done, shall I? I've had a hairdressers, I've had a printers, I've had a diner, I've had a camp company. I still have a holiday let. I've still done multi-let houses. I still have that. And then my biggest thing, if I get down to one that worked the best, I got involved in a fashion brand. We started off 3 of us with nothing, and when I left after 2.5 years, we'd sold over 1 million t-shirts. Wow. So we'd luckily got involved. Well, I say luckily, it was a big ride. If you take something from nothing to max, it's a big journey, and lots of things go on. And yeah, it got to the point where I didn't, answering emails at 11 at night, 12 at night, and then wondering why I wasn't getting to sleep. All them kind of things that I learned from as it went. But yeah, it was a massive success. But in the end, with all successes, when you have big companies, there becomes problems possibly within the company. It was my time to leave, so I got to leave that. But I also learned a lot again. So every positive and mistake, I feel like there's a lot of things to learn from, good and bad.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get right into it. What are the 3 biggest lessons you've learned and that has carried you through and that you kind of think about often and you're like, okay, I'm doing this because of this, circumstance?
Yeah. 3 biggest things to learn. Don't take things personal because it's often not about you. Especially in a deal,
Yeah.
you'll just happen, as an entrepreneur, you happen to be a part of it as it's happening, but it's not about you, it's a deal. So whatever the deal is, it's not me. Someone might break that deal or break it, but I can't take that personally because this is business. And things happen in business that don't happen in the real world. Like I said to you before we started, sometimes you lose to win. No one would say you never lose to win, but ask an entrepreneur, he's lost to win a million times, so many times. You look at what you've got and you lose to win. So I can't take that personally, especially working with other people as well. What about my next one? Good question. So you know, I wish I'd had time.
Yeah.
I wrote down a really good thought, but my second one would be give you whatever that you do. Don't overwork and burn yourself out because you'll be lesser than you will if you give yourself a break. I keep meeting people and they have these days that they don't have any time for themselves. So if you don't have time for yourself in it, because for instance, if you're making phone calls at work, why make them in the office? Why not go outside and make them? So you're doing something. So while you're outside, you're in the fresh air, you're doing things for you and managing you. We all sit inside, like my office here, it's got no windows. If I sat in here all the time, I'd be depressed. So if I make calls, I make them outside. I plan to, if I've got a meeting, sometimes the meeting will go for a walk. Because these are all positive things that bring people out and it deals with it differently. If I sit face to face in an office, in a meeting room, I don't get as much out of them as if I go for a walk with them when we know a little bit more about them and whatnot stuff goes. Give yourself time. It's really important at the beginning and the end of the day that you have time. Because if you work...
I love that.
Pardon?
Oh, I love that. That's so good. Yeah.
It's like if you had a car and you kept driving it for 24 hours a day, that's not going to last that long, that car. And you're going to have constant problems with it. So what would you do with the car? If you thought we have to drive it a lot, you'd maintain it all the time. So you'd maintain it every day, right? Do the maintenance checks before we go out. Do you do the maintenance checks on yourself? Most people don't. I think it's really important that you look out for you because no one else will.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, one thing I started in Ontario, we're under a lockdown, so our kids are homeschooling. So my husband works, but on Wednesday mornings, I normally have this networking group meeting. So normally we're in a restaurant, but we can't right now. So I wake up early. It starts at 7, and I've been just going to like the country and taking a walk while doing the networking meeting. And it's just such a nice way to start the day. As opposed to like going down to my basement, getting in front of the screen, and I'm like, man, this is like a life hack. Because then I get my steps in, I get some exercise, I get fresh air, and I'm still doing what I have to do. So yeah, I love that. I'm always telling people, be creative, man. We're entrepreneurs. We can do anything we want.
Well, at the end of the day, for instance, today, my day started, I felt like it was like 2 o'clock till I came to the office. And then I started thinking, I haven't put enough in the day. But I'd been on the phone dealing with work from everything that I was doing beyond that. And sometimes, because we don't have hours, we sort of sometimes think, you sort of get caught. When you were before, you did 9 till 5. So you went to that job and you did 9 till 5. Sometimes we have to do 7. Sometimes we have to work at 11 at night. And I think that, take it in that you only want to do one job. I know that lots of people want to push for success, but you can't have success if you're not all right upstairs. That's the important. Yeah. Third one. What would be my third bit of advice that I would give? Well, this is the most obvious piece of advice, and this is going back to before. This is the best piece of advice you could ever give any entrepreneur. Make sure you earn more than you give out. Loads of people start businesses and I say, what are you taking? Well, we're not taking out at the minute because we want to put it in the business. And that's great if you've got like a plan and you're doing a 12-month, but when you're on year 2 and 3 and you're still not taking out because that business isn't viable. It's not doing anything for you. The evidence will tell, if there's no money then, when is the money going to come? You're now 3 years short of your own paying your mortgage and all stuff like that. I meet so many people with eternal optimism, but that optimism is sometimes a little bit off place because if you're not making the money, you're not making the money. A business has to be viable. So that would be
Yeah, I love that one too. There are times where people are like hoping for the future. And I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing now? Like, you need to eat today.
Yeah.
So I find that too. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. So earlier, before we started recording, you were talking about you plan your weeks. Do you want to talk about why that's important and kind of go through what you typically plan out?
I'd be lying if I said it was something I've always done. It's a new thing that I'm starting to do because I do plan my weeks because I know what's going on. I use a calendar in my phone because I've got a
Yeah.
bad memory as well. But this was a new thing. I felt like I needed to plan it all. Like if you fit in everything, and I know when I've got I'm a divorcee, so I have my kids half the time. So I've got to fit everyone in and make everyone happy. And I've got jobs to do. I've got my dad role to do. I've got my partner role to do, and I've got my business role to do. And they're all. I'm a dad to a dog, so I've got to sort my dog out as well. You know, and whatever it is needs to be me. And if I'm not planning ahead with myself, so I came in today to plan out my whole week, to plan out work, exercise, connecting with friends and family, so that I know that by the end of the week, if I plan it out, when it comes, sometimes I'm a bit think in the moment to do something, then I might miss out. So now I'm getting to connect with the right people. Some people aren't like me who think in the moment. In fact, 90% of people are more organised than me. So I need to be more organised to say, do you want to meet next Friday? And then I can put them in my thing, rather than ringing them on the Thursday going, do you want to meet tomorrow? Or do you want to meet today? So I'm going forward. It's about organising me. And I think one of the things is to make a bigger and better version of yourself. You've got to be pushing yourself all the time. And this is something different and new. And I want to turn it into a habit. And it's not a habit yet because we're on week 1. But maybe by week 12, it'll be a habit and I'll be feeling the benefits of it. So, yeah. I don't want to say that it's something, but I have watched other people use this and thought, you know what? I need to implement that. Not just for work, though, for all of it. Make sure that I've been to the gym twice. Make sure I've been cycling. Make sure I've done a mountain. Whatever it may be, because when you're an entrepreneur, whatever you do, you can often think about work. So if you've got something on your mind for work, go to the gym and think about it, because you're in a constructive environment and you're out of your normal place. You can think differently, and you're given that opportunity. So the problem with being an entrepreneur is it is hard to switch off because you're always on with new things. So if you stay in the same environment, you have the same things drawing you down, whatever it is. You need to change it so you can uplift from it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Once I became an entrepreneur, I became a list person and a calendar person, which I had never been, because I'm similar to you. It's like, hey, you want to grab a beer tonight? Let's do this. But really, it's like, well, I can't because I didn't finish I can't leave the office at 3 to go get a drink.
Yeah.
I didn't finish what I needed to finish. So now I started training myself to be like, it doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. You can answer them and make it work with your schedule without dropping the balls. But I always have my calendar close to me because I always say yes. And then that gets me in a lot of hot water. So I just started saying, like, let me look at my calendar and get back to you. Because you have to, or else you just say yes. And all of a sudden you're dropping balls, making people unhappy. Your personal life takes a hit because you got to catch up after hours. So yeah, the world of entrepreneurship is a weird, weird world, but I live and die by my lists at this point. So, and it's funny because I never used to be a list person.
What was your previous? What was your previous thing you did before? Was it in business or was it a non?
No, I worked in a nonprofit agency. It was worldwide, and I was the director of social media. Right. So it's like you show up I worked, you work your 9 to 5, your 9 to 3, whatever it was. And I did some work from home. We had it was just like part of the deal. I could work a little bit from home. But it was different because it's just like, your boss says, hey, I need to talk to you right now. You go in his office right now. There's no schedule. You just kind of do what you got to do. Now that I'm in charge fully of my own schedule, that's where it got weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to run over here. I said yes to this person. I hate being late. I hate forgetting about meetings. So I'm like, okay, I need a calendar and I need to, every day I have a list. Basically the day before at 5 o'clock when I'm done work, I'll write what I have to do the next day. Get in my office, add a couple of things to it, and then just kind of work through the list. It just makes me way more efficient.
And I get a lot of your list? Do you put your list into 10 things and go, do you have any kind of technique that you work through your list?
The things that have to get done. So Monday morning, well, first of all, I never make meetings for, usually, now that I'm working from home, my schedule got shifted, but generally I don't take meetings before 11 o'clock because those 2 hours from 9 to 11, I get a lot of the work done that I have to get done. Now, after 11, I'll do a sales meeting or, talk to clients or do the video or photography stuff. But prior to that, I'm just like, you know what, get down to it, because you need to hit these certain things off, get them off the list, basically. So yeah, I do prioritize certain clients, pay more because they expect more from me. And yeah, so I definitely have a list. And then there's some things, like for me, a lot of my own content gets pushed to the bottom of the list because I need to make sure my clients are, like, I do social media, so I make sure everything's posted for them or their videos are done. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I have an hour, I'm going to start editing my videos. So, and some people say you should prioritize yourself. It's easier said than done. Because I do care if my YouTube video doesn't get up, but no one pays me for that, right? Yeah. It's just my thing. But when it's a client being like, hello, I paid you to do that video and you told me Tuesday and it's Tuesday, it's not up, that's a different story, right? Yeah. So a lot of times it's my content I do a lot of my stuff in the afternoon, usually.
Well, I'm on an interesting thing with you. So I started YouTubing I had a random event happen to me and I used YouTubing to get me off it. And I've just recently had a mindset thing that's happened with it. I've been working, I had a motivational channel. So I do motivational. I'm a motivated person. I try and put that across. And I do a podcast, a weekly podcast for a group on Facebook called Mindfulness and Positivity, a big group. It's great, goes well. Videos, I was doing around about 2 or 3 videos a week, editing text. Is that what do you do editing? Is that what you said? Oh, yeah. Editing. Oh, I never knew anything about editing. It's such a time consumer.
It is, yeah.
2 weeks ago, I went and shot a video. It was on my where I live in the Lake District in England, and we have a holiday let. It's beautiful. And we've been in a lockdown, and we were coming out of lockdown the week after. So I went and did a video of our lovely holiday let. It's quite large. And then I did, from our holiday let, in 5 minutes, you can go up a mountain by what you got the views of a mountain, but you don't have to walk up a mountain. It's a very short walk. I went and did all the filming. It was brilliant. I filmed by the lake, filmed in a thing, everything. Got home. Every bit of the video didn't go through. It all recorded. It's on my memory. I couldn't get it. I never recorded a video for 2 more. It just, when something annoys you, didn't record a video. And then my second thing that happened, I was on my channel, a bit of a mixture, because I to be honest, the YouTube, it isn't my job. It's a bit of a pleasure thing. But I uploaded a video that I did with someone, and I lost 50 subscribers off one video, which was about procrastination. The video was called "How to Stop Procrastinating." I put it up, and the subscribers went. And I've just had a mindset thing with the video where I'm recording again this week, but I haven't recorded for 2 or 3 weeks now. And I was at that stage, like, you just have to say, I'm going to start this, else it'll end. Yeah. I either give in, and I don't want to give it. I set a target of 100 videos, and I think I've done 52. So I'm sticking with it. So my target, I'm driving myself, but like the entrepreneur thing, who else have I got? I'm doing it on my own. So the only person motivating me is me. And then you've got your life, your business, your work, things that pay your bills. And like you say, it falls behind a little bit. But I'm going to pick it back up.
Yeah, keep going. Setting a goal for, like, I tell this to, like, my clients too, because they're like, I don't know, I don't want to get in front of, I'm like, you know what, just say you're going to post once a day. That's all. Even if it's a story, or if they're camera shy, I'm like, just do 1 selfie a week, and then we'll work that into your content. It's just, you have to set the goals, or else it just all of a sudden it doesn't matter. So for myself, in the last probably month, I was like, okay, I want to do 2 videos a week put on YouTube. One's going to be like interview type. One's going to be more just me speaking about whatever. And my goal is 2 a week. It's easy. I can do 2. Like, when people are like, oh, you should be posting every day, that's not realistic for my schedule. I'm just like, what's the goal I know I can hit? Like, something I can sustain for the next year of my life. And 2 a week is sustainable for me. But because I'm more like, oh, I'll just do them every day, and I'll do it for, like, 7 days, and then I won't do it again for like 3 months. And you can probably see on my YouTube.
I set this thing. Let me just say this. This is an interesting thing, right? And this is totally true, because I'm thinking, what about a test on your mindset, YouTubing? Because I've never done a video before. Well, you're maybe trained with it. I've never done anything like that. And coming up with content's a lot more difficult. People are pretty horrible on comments. Some people can write some stuff and you're like, and it's just I found it one of my biggest tests I've ever done. I don't earn any money from it. I get no money. And I'm getting this thing where it's like a permanent test of you. But I also quite like a test. And I think I'm not going to, I've wanted to give in at least 5 times. And like what you said, I said I'm going to do 35 videos in 35 days. I set that at the beginning. I thought, oh, no problem. I think I did about 7 days. And then it just got the editing and coming up with it. And then life pops up. And so a big thing for all those YouTubers out there who do it all the time, people don't see the back end of what's going on. And maybe they're getting help now, but their mindset and their strive to succeed is massive. And I've learned to appreciate that from watching them.
Yeah, same here. I have a lot of respect now for YouTubers. I'm like, man, it's not as easy as it looks. Like, there's a lot of steps you have to do. You have to prepare. You have to it's work, right? It's like, this might be a 25-minute interview, but there was a lot of time that went into this, and then even in post-production. But it's worth it. It's brand building. Social media is where it's at.
Yeah.
Speaking about mindset, so it is hard when you hear the negative comments in general, and mostly people, like when I talk to my clients and they want to start getting on social, but they don't want to be in front of the camera, it's because they're scared of what people are going to say. So I always tell them, like, who cares? But it's easy for me to say that, and you kind of get to a point in your life maybe that you don't care necessarily, and it depends on your journey. Like, I swear with girls, sometimes they're so mean when you're like 12, 13, 14 that you become hard. So I'm like, now I'm like almost 40. I don't give a damn, seriously, because I learned that lesson grade 7 and 8. But what do you do, like, with all the negativity that's around? It's hard to push forward. So in general, when it's negativity about you or your business, and then also I'm having a hard time in general, like I'm just trying to put positive stuff in my path because everyone's just so down about all the lockdowns and COVID, this and politics and that. How do you rise above it? Like, what are your tricks?
Well, I'm not going to give you a trick. I'm going to give you a bit of honesty that. So I've learned to. I'm 43. I've had life hasn't always been at the top. I've had to grind. And do you know what my biggest thing about YouTube, which was weird, about when I was younger, I was someone different, and I knocked around in different circles. And it was a long time ago, but I still know him. And I was scared about anyone seeing my videos. So I was like, I didn't tell anyone I was doing them. And what happened was, so, when you start YouTube, no one watches your videos, and it tells you, you read it, no one watches it. And then I got my stats from the weekend. I had 178 shares on WhatsApp in one of my videos. That said to me, who's sharing my videos then? WhatsApp shares. That means it was all the lads where I live were obviously sending my videos to each other and whatnot. And someone had let it out. And it was like, I'll be honest, I'm going to say this and just chuck it. I got quite emotional about it. It made me sad, and I got upset. But it's almost like with anything being upset, that's what you needed. Because after a bit, I don't care. After a bit, you're scared that people's going to see. Then you're like, oh, right, he does motivational videos. So what a horrible guy trying to get people, trying to make them more motivated. And my next one then was filming in front of people. And I've beaten both of them. I'm beating another one now because I've got to get over the fact I lost that film and I lost the subscribers, and I had a mindset issue, and I put it, and then I had life, business, family, all them other things, as you know, they come to get you as well. And when you've got them as well, and you have to think back. So part of this was, I do this because I've got a video on Thursday. So I'm going out filming all day Thursday. And that's the first filming I've done for 3 weeks because I'm not giving in. And it is, I'm only giving in myself. And I think this is one of them little things that I have to get over. And if I don't, and it's not the negativity of the people, it's everything that you perceive yourself. A lot of the things you think is self-perception of what you think other people think. And you have to think, who cares? You have to. Yeah. It's easier said than done, but you have to think that. And I think sometimes you get scared to show who you really are. And I know that I've shown you who I really am now. And some of them people from my past, they wouldn't recognize me being the difference. But this is who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. So I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good word. That is, I know it's so easy to say who cares, but we all have people in our life we do care. Like, I think everyone cares about a handful of opinions. Like, I really don't care about someone, like, you know, when they don't use their real name on Facebook and they're like, you're ugly or something like that. It's like, that doesn't at all keep me awake. But the people I know and love, they could keep me awake at night if they did something that. So I know it's hard to keep that in mind. It's hard to have the balance of, no, who cares, and just like, okay, you do care a little bit. How do you, you know, balance this tricky thing? Because we're putting ourselves out there all the time on social media, and of course people are going to disagree with what I say, and that's okay. I disagree with a lot of people too. So it's constant reminding, like, no, they can have a different opinion, doesn't mean you're wrong. Just keep going. You know what you need to do, get it done, type of thing. It's just a lot of self-talk.
It's funny, the troll thing. Like, some people go about their whole life because they don't have a life. They take it out as anyone else they can. I've only had a few of them, but I've seen other people get them, and that doesn't bother me as much, because I know that, you know, people are going to be people. The society has to have different groups, and they all get filled in with it and whatnot. And I know what my place is, and all I want to do is help people in life, and that's why I did the channel. And I didn't do it for monetary reasons. I did it because, I don't know, I just did it on a random. I don't know, I didn't plan it. I just started doing it. And now we're here, and I've set a goal. And if you don't set goals, you're never going to achieve anything. So I've got a goal, which is hard, because, you know, you have to keep, if you set that goal, and if you're a person who wants to keep to it, I'm keeping to it. So,
yeah, well, that's what they say, right? You write down a goal, you're going to be like 80% more likely to achieve it. So you got to stick to it. All right, so back to your plan. In your weekly plan, you set time specifically for mindfulness. What would that be, and what does it look like?
Do you know what's one of the maddest things? After, like, mindfulness, I found out, like, I don't meditate regularly. I do try and meditate, though. It is something I'm trying to do. But I've realised that I walk my dog every single morning. I do the same, not similar walk. I actually live opposite a castle. So where I live, I'm opposite a castle, and it's high on a hill. It was actually the Queen of England, one of Henry VIII's wives that he never beheaded, called Catherine Parr. Her castle's right outside my house. So I walk around there, and what I try is, when I try and meditate, it's taking my mind off things. What I've realised anyway, when I go for my dog walk, I listen to books or I listen to music. And for that time that I'm out, that's my time, you know. Like, if I'm in my house thinking about going for my walk, I might be getting caught up in everything. The second I leave, things change. So if I was feeling things were getting the better of me before, I'm automatically thinking about what I'm going to do to alleviate them. I'm automatically thinking about the oxygen's being released in my body. I'm starting to feel the energy, and I just feel better. I feel, even if it doesn't always make me feel better, it makes me feel different about what was happening before. And it always makes me feel, I am glad. I've never once thought, oh, I wish I hadn't gone out for that walk. Never.
Yeah.
Never. But I think it's other things that I do is about, I mean, I read a lot. I read and listen to a lot of different ways to think. And often, like, funny enough, the person who connected us, John Michael Morgan, coaching calls every 2 weeks. And I do these coaching calls. A lot of the stuff that he tells me I've learned before and forgotten. And then every time he brings it up, I used to do that. We'll try that again. And it's about that, the things we take on board, we do for a bit. Some become habits, some don't. It doesn't mean we can't revisit them again as we move on and we change who we are. So yeah, I think mindfulness isn't essentially always just, you know, sport is mindfulness. You go and play, and like when I play golf, I don't take my phone on the course ever. Whereas I have my phone everywhere. My phone's here now. I've actually turned it off, and that's an area for me just to think about golf. Take a place where I don't think about something else, because that escapes. And you need to escape you and your life so that you can let let things sit in you. You need to take a break from yourself, because we've all, like, no matter who you are, you've got stuff, haven't you? You've got family, you've got work, you've got the troll, you've got the neighbour, you've got the sister, you know, or whatever's going on, and something's always going on, and you just need to escape that. I love going on holiday. I love sport. I love cycling. Like, cycling up a hill, you can think about anything. It's not bad, because you're so annoyed about the hill and you're like, I can't do it. Whatever you think about, you can do it constructively. And I think that think of a problem, take your problem to a hill, think of it on the hill, because you'll think about it differently. So that's my mindfulness. It's not always like I think meditation does work as well, and I am trying more at it. But there's loads of other ways that, as long as you can take your mind off your current set of things and like remove yourself from it, you'll feel a better person for it.
For sure. You know what? I have played soccer for years and years and years, like, except when I was pregnant. So, and this is the first year I'm not doing it. And I'm just like, oh man, like when you're on the pitch, you don't think about anything except what's got to get done. And like having that empty mind is really, really nice. So I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do on Thursday nights instead of that? I got to do something. So we cycle and stuff. And where I live, I swear it's all hills.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't know anything except like these. I'm always like, these hills, why did I come this way? I should have went this way. Why did I go on this hill? It's funny. But I've been really getting into like exercise and stuff like that, which I've never really taken seriously before. But I'm like, and sometimes it's hard for me to sometimes like get down there, you know, put on the clothes, get moving. But when I do, I've never ever regretted it. I feel accomplished. I feel better. I needed because I'm just always mentally working.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need the physical break. So I'm starting to tell everyone, not that I'm like a fitness buff or anything, but I'm like, man, if you're an entrepreneur, get working out, because there's something about it. It just gives your body the movement you need. Because I know for me, I sit way too much because I'm always at the computer. And I'm like, but besides that, it just gives you the mental break, and you just focus on like kind of the pain in the moment and nothing else. And then a lot of times things do get clear. Like when I go for a walk, go for a hike, I always have things in my ears, like podcast, books, whatever. And I'm just like, you just start approaching problems differently.
Yeah.
Or like, that's not really a problem, or whatever. Like it's really good. So I'm trying to put that into my schedule. It's harder in the winter because we have cold winters here. But I'm just, put it in the schedule because it makes me a better entrepreneur, makes me a better person. And my business, since I've started implementing these things, has been a lot better.
It's funny because some people miss it out. They don't see it as important when working on you, like working on this side of you, and then this side of you, maybe this side of you, all the different sides of you that may, that I went to the gym today, not to do much gym. If you do a lot of sport, you pick up loads of injuries. My back is tight off golf and cycling. And I went there just to stretch but I want to go to the gym because we've been in lockdown for a ridiculous, we came out today of the second, we've been in lockdown for like a year and a bit. And this one, as of today, you can go inside somewhere, but you've not been able to go inside somewhere for 5 months. And we had a month off. So we've been in the same sort of, I hope that's the end. I really do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
all
interesting.
Right.
Sorry.
So you mentioned books. What are some influential books you've read, and what ones would you suggest?
Right, I've got loads of books. Loads. I'm just going to go on to my audio now and look at them. I'll tell you, I know the ones off that. The best book I've ever read, and it's called it's my Bible. I read it 4 times. I started reading it before I even got into reading books. I read this, and it helped me change to who I am. My son, who's in business as well, my oldest son is flying high in business, and it's the worst title of any book: How to Win Friends and Influence People. Best book. Bible. It's the Bible. I think that the only problem with it is the title. It doesn't match.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit. The title isn't. It's How to Win. I just feel it could have been a better title because it's much more than that. It's how. Like I almost see it as, like the Bible sets out ways to live to enjoy your life, and that's exactly what that does. Exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? It just gives. If you go about things like this, you'll get the life you want, and you'll be fair to everyone else, and you'll be liked, and people will want to do business with you. I've got some other ones. Brand Against the Machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't read that actually.
What?
I have not read that, but don't tell John.
I met John, and then this is mad. I met John through something that we do. We do a weekly group somewhere, and then he was going to come on my podcast. And then I didn't know he'd written the book, so I thought, he's coming on the book, I have to do it. You know what? It's a phenomenal book. And for me, personally, in my journey at that time, what he said couldn't have matched anymore, because it's about recognizing yourself that you can do these things. So why can anyone do anything? We can do them. And it was perfect timing for me. I'll tell you what, it's not a business book, but this gives you Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Joe, I can never get his, Joe Dispenza, I always say that wrong, I'm dyslexic. It's about understanding that that's really helped me, because we don't have to react like we did in the past to modern day problems. Today is today. How I reacted before doesn't work. Why would I react like the old me and take that into, like, if you actually analyze it from reading the book, you think, yeah, I react the same to these things. Every time this happens, I react the same. Why can't I react in the moment? And that's what's learning to do. When it happens, something, and in business it happens all the time, someone's having you off, someone's doing something to you. When it happens, you have the choice how you react. That's your choice. I have that choice, how I react and what I do. I used to react to certain things in the same kind of behaviours. So now I try and think, right, this has happened. I don't, think about how I'm reacting. Think about being here right now. But I think that's brilliant. Yeah. Amazing book.
That's good. One of my favorite quotes is by, I think it's Charles Stanley or Chuck Swindoll. And it says, life is 10% and the other 90 is how you react to that 10%. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's true, because I have my reaction patterns. And I'm just like, this was not effective for the last 30 years of my life. Figure out another way to react. Like, it's going to happen again in a few weeks. Figure it out. It's going to, like, these situations. So that's a good one. I'm going to read that one.
Have you got any teenagers?
Pardon?
Any
my daughter's 12.
Right. Well, I've got 12. My youngest is 12.
Next month.
So my oldest is 21. So when he was a teenager, I had high expectations, higher than I ever was myself, because I messed about a bit at that age. How unrealistic am I expecting he did do really well, my son. So now my middle son's 14 and he's doing all the same things Dylan did, but I react different. I'm not shouting anymore. I don't get caught up in, I used to be a sulker. That's what my kid's mum said. And that was one of the things. I was a sulker. And I used to sulk with Dylan. I don't do that now, because how can I teach a 14-year-old kid to be an adult? I'm sulking. Sometimes I didn't speak to Dylan for a week. I speak to Dylan nearly every day now. Well, I always have. He's my son. And it's just learning that, it's great. When you, the last kid is always, I've got 3, they're always treated differently because you get better at it as you go. It's like, it's a tough task. I'll give you another one then. I'll tell you an awesome book. You might have read this one, Atomic Habits. Oh,
I just bought it. It's sitting on my desk. Yeah.
That's where this came from, the doing the thing. Atomic Habits is absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational. An obvious one called The Secret.
Okay.
Have you read that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
It's a different approach of understanding that we can have anything we want in our life, and the only person stopping it from having it is ourselves. And what we think is what we think, and what we attract. And if we think different, if we think things we want to attract, that's what will come. It's a really good audio book. I've read a lot of books surrounding the subject and never read The Secret. And then when I read The Secret, I thought, I wish I'd just read that first rather than the 20 other books that we're having a little bit. Give you another one. Oh, this is a good one. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Brilliant. Okay. Understanding about how people make money is an aspect of your thoughts, and that if you're brought up in a certain environment, you get used to having less, and having yes is a concept you take on yourself. It's up to you. You put your own barriers on. How does anyone go from living poverty to being a billionaire? Because they never put any barriers on themselves. So I'll give one another. Sorry, I've got absolutely loads. I got into audio around about. Someone said to it, I said, I don't read that much. I give audio a go, and I did it for 3 years and did 44 books. Plus, I do Blink's list now. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You heard of that one?
Okay. I've heard of that one. I actually think I have it in my library, but I've never actually read it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, How to Win Friends would definitely be the best. I'll tell you another one as well. Steve Chandler, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. That was the 4th book I ever read. And I'll give you another one now, because if you've never heard of this guy is phenomenal. And I'd never heard of him. And he died 30 odd years ago. Alan Watts. Have you heard of Alan Watts?
Kind of vaguely sounds familiar.
This book's
What's
called
his book?
Alan Watts. He died 30 years ago. So he was alive in the 50s. That guy, so wise. I just love the way he speaks, and all his audios are in his voice. He makes, like, if I'm ever feeling like I'll go on a walk and I need to rejuvenate, I listen to that a bit, because I just like the way his voice flows, and I don't know, he's got something special about him that, I've got one more, can I finish on one last book? Because I think books are really important. This is a book that I'm rereading. I'm not reading it now. I was into self-help, and I always used to look self-help or business and stuff. And then I came across a book called The Alchemist. Have you read that?
No, but someone said that online. They're like, you need to read The Alchemist. I was like, okay, interesting.
Phenomenal. It's a story about a shepherd and what he goes on to do, but it encompasses all of life. And it's a special book that, I'll tell you what it did to me. I listened to that on audio, and then I thought, I love it. So I got his next book. He didn't get me. It wasn't the same. I stopped listening. I didn't listen to books for 2 months because I couldn't find a book like The Alchemist.
Oh, wow.
So,
all right, I'll check that one out too.
Yeah. So that's my book choice. And I think books are really important. A new way of thinking.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thanks so much. Let's leave off with one. If you have 30 seconds of people's attention, what would you tell someone if someone just stopped you on the street and said, give me some advice, man? What are you going to say to them?
Make sure that whatever you're doing in your life, whatever's going on at the minute, that everything's about you being happy. Because money don't make you happy. No one else makes you happy. It's a personal choice that you make yourself. So no one can make you happy, but whatever you do will make you happy. I'm doing this listing now because I want it to make me happy. I want to make my life happier. Even that I'm a happy person, but I'm constant, and it's a job that you have to take on for life, but it's got the best outcome you'll ever get. Happiness is not a gift that someone gives you. It's a process of habits, ways of thinking, and things that you do that give it you. And I'd give it that.
That's a great word of advice. Well, thank you so much for listening, everyone. I'm going to put Christian's info at the bottom. How can we follow you, Christian?
I've got a YouTube thing, and it's called Christian Hoyle, Catalyst for Change. So that's my YouTube. So I was making videos, and I do podcasts on it as well. So my main thing is to try and get people, like you asked that question there, having a good life is a process that we've got to encounter ourselves to get there. And I think if you do the right things, you can get there.
Love it. Awesome. Okay, well, thanks a lot. Everyone subscribe. We have entrepreneurs coming, giving us wisdom, telling us how to be better people, to get more successful, to be more happier. And to thank you for listening. Subscribe to my channel today. Have a good one.